Glaucoma crept into my life like a silent thief and stole my sight and almost stole my life. Not because of the diagnosis itself, but because I didn't have the resources at the critical moments. It was a balmy summer day some 17 years ago, shortly after being laid off from my first full-time job. I was preparing for my own wedding and looking forward to a new chapter. Thinking to myself, losing the job is a setback, but it's not something I cannot overcome. Suddenly, the black dots and floating strings appeared. The changes no one explained. Within weeks, I heard not one, but two life-altering statements. You have glaucoma, and you've already lost meaningful sight in your left eye. What followed were surgeries, regimen of eye drops, and appointments. But no roadmap, no guidance, no emotional support. No one pulled me aside and said, here are some resources. There's a community. The road ahead is going to be tough, but you don't have to do this alone. During those initial years, I was trying to hold a marriage together, build a career, and cling on to the sight I had left, all while pretending I was okay. In retrospect, I was white-knuckling it and believed that it was the only way I would survive. So when the thigh thieves attacked again in 2019, this time on my remaining eye, the emotional fallout was just as devastating as the vision loss. The panic attack that took place in the middle of the workplace sent me straight to the ER. But you see, it wasn't just about sight loss. It was about years of surviving in crisis mode without adequate support. Like a perfect storm, the COVID-19 pandemic hit just days after, and even the limited support I relied on disappeared or become unavailable to me overnight. I wasn't just losing sight. I was losing my sense of direction in life. And that's what lack of resources does. It isolates people, it pushes people to survival mode, and it made living a productive life after losing sight feel like the impossible. However, things started to change in 2024, not because my vision improved, but because through a sighted mutual friend, I finally got connected to another person living with sight loss. That single introduction, little did I know, opened the door to the courage to seek out support, more information, and tools I didn't even know existed. I became more familiar with the work of the Glaucoma Research Foundation, and through them, I was introduced to a one-on-one peer support opportunity. And through the peer support companion, I learned about the Aspect program. From one conversation came access. From access came confidence. From confidence came healing, and that is the power of resources. Today, I understand something I wish I had known all 17 years ago. The earlier the support, the softer the landing. The more the resources, the fewer the breakdowns. The stronger the connection and community, the stronger the comeback. At this very moment, there are probably thousands of people living through the same story I once lived through. Scared, confused, and trying to pretend that they're okay because they don't know where to turn and what their future holds. The good news is, You don't have to be an eye doctor to change that. You don't need a license to save someone from drowning. Sometimes the most powerful thing you can do is when you see something, when you see a need, you say something. As simple as, here's a number you can call. I heard about support group for that. You're not the only one. If you have the chance to refer someone, to share a resource, or to connect a human to another, please do so. Be the bridge that links people to their next step of hope. Because resources don't just change what somebody can do, they change what someone believes is still possible. Glaucoma crept into my life like a silent thief and stole my sight. But it can never steal my life. For this reason, I am on a mission to save lives, one resource at a time.